We're doing about 200,000 a month
already. Hell yeah!
Like in December, we did 200,000 with 10, and then like the numbers for January aren't fully out yet. We'll see what we do.
20K a writer average.
Yeah,
powerful. What up, y'all? Back with another episode of the Insurance Insiders podcast. Got a cool treat today. This dude Tanner. I don't want to mess it up. Is it just Mendelsohn? Is it?
Yeah, Mendelsohn. Yeah,
Mendelsohn. Nice and easy. The H threw me for a loop, but easy, dude. So what's cool is as we start to do more and more of these podcasts, people are starting to recommend others to come on. And Ronnie was like, "Yeah, you need to talk to this dude Tanner." And so we reached out, connected, and excited to have you on. I found out you're 21. So it's interesting seeing you're younger than two of my kids. I got one right behind you. And I found out you're in month 5 and already issued 50-something thousand on your own pen and life volume last month, building a team, doing crazy. Just moved from Cali to Austin to get around some people. So you ain't messing around, dude. So I'm excited to learn more. Appreciate you getting on.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you. When I first got in the business, I would watch all your videos all the time. I recommend all my new guys watch your videos as well. So I'm just grateful for the opportunity and I appreciate it.
Hell yeah, I love it, dude. Which one did you resonate with the most, or which helped you the most? Do you have a specific one you like?
The main videos that just go back that it's always just the work. Like the answer is always just work. Like there's no special lead type. There's no special training that you can do. Like let's get to work and then let's evaluate your presentations, dials, and we can see where we can fix that. So I just like how you always preach that really just the work's always the answer, which is something that I agree with 100%.
Yeah. Have you, do you have something else you've done that with, whether sports or schooling or a job since, or is that like, did that just click one day and you're like, oh, this is easy? Or has that always been you?
No, I've always been a super competitive person. Like my entire life growing up, I was a soccer player. So that was my like whole life. And I was always super competitive. I played at a pretty high level. And I've always just wanted to be the best in whatever I do. So I feel like translating into insurance, like I kind of view it as like a sport, right? And I always want to be the best in what I do. So I'm going to put the hours in to achieve that level so I can be the best. I think that's helped me a ton.
Yeah. So like varsity school soccer, I assume? Yeah,
varsity, like played club my whole life. Like we were our state championship, CIF, all that stuff.
Sick. Yeah. What does one do in that space that's like above and beyond what the average soccer player does? Like what's it take to be great there?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really just like the skills, like especially like work ethic's massive and just getting like the skills down. Like I was a really good passer. I was really good at dribbling. And I would play in like the middle of the field. I just had a really good brain for what I was doing. So I was able to like lead the team pretty well and really just get my skills down and just help everyone out.
That's dope.
Yeah.
What about in the prep side? Like my son Maddox is 13.
Oh, I gotcha.
And he's playing baseball. And he's like naturally pretty good. He's a tall lefty. So he's like, I'm 6'1". He's probably 5'10". I mean, he's up to here on me. He's a few inches shorter than me, barely. His 12 and a half shoe size already. I mean, he towers over his friends.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I try to tell him, like, dude, some of these kids are going to be up before school practicing every day. And he doesn't. And some of these kids are going to be like up at night practicing when you're not, you know what I mean? And I'm like, you got to be careful. I'm trying to instill in him this like work ethic for the practice part of it. Did you do that during soccer, or were you just like naturally just damn good the entire time?
I'll be honest, like I definitely was naturally good at soccer. But I mean, I would definitely put in a lot of work, and I was always just like obsessed about getting better, like private trainings and whatnot. But I definitely was just naturally good for sure, which helped a lot.
Combination. Have you ever seen someone that was like naturally pretty good that didn't put in the work and you skunked them in soccer?
No, 100%. But some of those guys that are just naturally good, like I'm just like, damn, like These guys, they have a talent.
That guy with potential, you see the guy's like, he could do it if only he put in the work. He doesn't know the plays as well, things like that.
No, 100%. No, most
I love it. So how the hell did you get into insurance sales, bro?
Yeah. So, I mean, before I got into insurance, like I was in college, I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life. So I just went to college and I just surrounded myself with like the wrong people and just started making like not the best decisions for my future. So I kind of just like took a step back and I'm like, all right, what do I need to do? And like I've been a pretty social kid growing up. So I was thinking maybe sales. And then before I found the agency I'm with now, I found another insurance company. So I just went all in on it. I worked there for 10 months. But I saw like no success whatsoever. The leadership was terrible. The leads were absolutely horrendous, but I was putting in a lot of work. And what it taught me is that you can work really, really hard in the wrong system and get nowhere. But when you're plugged into the right system, like, the success rate goes up insane. So yeah, I went to that insurance company, saw no success. I saw the potential of what insurance provides for people. And I was like, I need to figure this out. I just have to get around the right people with everything figured out. And then made the jump. And then that's where my life just completely changed.
So did you see an ad? How'd you get connected with Ronnie and them? How'd that happen?
Yeah. So I was watching some of Grady's videos actually. And I always knew of FFL, but I wasn't really too sure what to think about it. But I just started watching some of his videos. And then I saw like Wiley's video and I was like, oh, I kind of like what this guy's saying. Let me hit him up. So I sent him a message, connected with him, and then I got connected with Ronnie. And then I was like, all right, these guys have it figured out. And one thing that really pulled me into them was how like we have an in-house marketing system. And at my previous company, leads were terrible. I was getting 5 to 10 leads a week. So I needed to find a company or an agency that had the leads figured out. That was the main thing I was looking for. So when I learned about what they had going on, I was like, all right, let me go all in on them.
Yeah. What is all in to you? What did that mean?
Yeah. So all in means like, this is literally all I do. So all I do is think about this. All I do is figure out how to get better at what I do, how to get my team better, how to increase my sales. So I'm genuinely working 14 hours a day. That's like 6 days a week. And then Sunday it's, connecting with my team and really just doing everything to better myself. Cause I'm 21 years old. Like I understand if I literally just focus on this for, 1, 2, 3 years, my life is forever set. So all in to me this is all I do.
That's badass. Your parents own any business or in sales or anything, or where'd you?
No,
really?
No. I mean, yeah. So my mom, she didn't like when I got into sales at first. I'll be honest. She wanted me to be like a firefighter or like go to trade school. Just have a very safe job, get a pension. You're gonna have good benefits. And she thought I was crazy when I was like, no, like trust me, I know I have more potential. But when I was making no money for a year straight, like she thought I was crazy. Like I made $300 my first month at my old company, 1,000 my second month, but I kept pushing and pushing and pushing. And then when I made the switch, like she was super proud, but no, dude, I think it's just been like instilled in me. And I think it kind of just came down to like when I was 20 years old and I started seeing a bunch of young people making a ton of money, I just really felt behind in my life. And I knew that I just need to find something where I'm around the right people and I can really become obsessed with something that can actually like provide something for my family and my life.
Yeah. I love it. Why? What are you trying to get at? Like, what gives you the drive? Is there something you're chasing? I know you said somewhat financial independence. I heard that piece, but is there something more to that?
100%. Yeah. So, I mean, like my mother's done like so much for me in my life. And like, I would feel selfish like if I didn't go all in this, because my goal is to retire her. So like she's going to be retired this year and she thinks I'm crazy. She's like, no, like, you're not going to be able to do that. But like as my income just grows every single month, she
Yeah.
starts to see like the reality of that happening. So she's going to be retired this year. And then of course, like I want to live like my life to the fullest potential, travel, like have the things I want, and provide for my family. So in the future, like the kids are taken care of, the wife's taken care of, really just everything.
That's so badass, dude. I
I
didn't have
appreciate it.
anywhere near that thought process. I mean, I certainly wanted to take care of my family, but I didn't see what you see this young. I was significantly older before I had that realization that that is possible, through
Yeah.
sales. So give them, what do you think has led to some of the success? Obviously, I know, certainly systems and leads and all that jazz helped, but again, you've only been around, would you say 5 months? This is month 5 now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
About
mean,
to finish
even
like my
being here this short, you're in an office. So you've already seen people, even in our system that you're in, and with the leads you have, that don't figure out how to make it work. Fair? Like some people just
yeah.
don't have it, dude. So what do you
Yes, fair.
think has led to you going from like no money, just barely out of high school a few years, and knocking down 50 G's a month in insurance sales? What do you specifically, what are the things helping you besides I have the mindset, I want to win, I want to work a lot? Like, what are you actually functionally doing that's helping you hit those numbers?
Yeah. So I think there's a bunch of things that are super important. One of the main ones is we work in a copycat business. So you don't have to make up, a bunch of new things that you have to try and hope that they work. So I was able to find someone and a couple people that had everything in place. And all I did was just apply exactly what they told me to do. They told
Yep.
me, like when I first started, I was living in California, and they told me to work 12 hours a day. They said 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Perfect. I had no results. They did. I'm going to listen. So I worked 12 hours a day. And I thought it was going to be crazy, but I did it because I knew that like they had the results. So I listened to what they told me. They told me to work 12 hours a day. Perfect. I'm going to work 12 hours a day. And then mainly is like a lot of people, they get too high on like the high days, like the really successful days. They get really low on the hard days. But you're going to fail in this business if you don't stay level headed. So I'll be honest, I came off and I killed it right away. My first 9 days, I made sales. My 10th day, I didn't. But like that 10th day, I got a little bit low and I was like, oh, geez, like I'm not too sure if like maybe I was doing something wrong. So that taught me that I have to stay super level headed with what I do. So if I sell 3, 4 in a day, or I sell 1 or 0, it doesn't matter. For me, what I measure is activity. So as long as I work the hours that I said I was going to work and I actually worked, so I'm not talking to people for 2 hours about nonsense, I'm not scrolling on Instagram, just a waste of time, then it's a successful day. So it's finding people that have results, listening to them, staying level headed, and then just working day by day to get better. Like my first day I met Ronnie, he told me, hey, your first month, focus on learning, not earning. And I was like, okay, that makes sense, but I want to make money. Right. Right. But I took a step back and I'm like, well, let me understand like what he actually means by that. And my whole focus my first month, I don't care how much money I make. It doesn't matter. If I can learn every single day and get better at my objections, get better at my script, get faster at filling out applications, build the why a little bit better, dude, I'm going to make so much more money than I ever imagined was possible. And that's what I did. And then I deposited 15,000 my first month. And then from there, I
That's
never
so
looked
sick.
back. I just never
I
looked
love it,
back.
dude. What was the hardest part so far? I guess I use it loosely because it's only been 5 months and you're killing it. But was anything like, damn, this one took me a minute to figure out?
Yeah. So, I mean, like, since I'm scaling and building a team, what's been like the biggest learning curve for me is managing my time really properly and
Yeah.
well. So, like, selling at a high level and recruiting people and making sure that they're getting paid. My first couple guys, it was tough. But like my third month when I brought 6 people in the business, and I kind of learned from my mistakes. 'Cause one thing I'll always do is if I make a mistake, I'm learning from it. It's never going to happen again. So I structured my time really, really well that month. And like I was able to get 2 of my guys paid over 10,000 that month. But initially it was tough to manage both, but now I'm really good at it.
What were you, was there something specific you had to change time wise?
Yeah. So, I mean, I just wasn't really properly setting sections in my day. So like it was kind of just like, all right, I'm working 12 hours. So like I'm helping someone with an app, hopping on a recruiting call, going over objections, training. Like it was just kind of jumbled into one day instead of like structured out properly. So now it's like morning I'll train, and then I'm dialing and helping new guys on the phone because we're on Zoom or in office helping them. And then at night, I'm going over applications with people. I'm going over objections. If you started that day, that week, like let's get everything figured out, and then like hop on recruiting calls at night. So it's all structured properly now to where if someone comes to me in the middle of the day and they're asking me about something that they know we do at night, I'm going to tell them, hey, like call me tonight. Like, you know what I'm doing right now.
So some boundaries with it too.
Boundaries and respecting your time. Like you have to respect your time. It's really important.
I love it, dude. What up, insurance agents? If you're looking for a roadmap on how to win in this industry, check out the book I wrote about a year ago, Do More Now, Get Better Later. Check out the reviews here somewhere. My team's putting them on. I'm getting tons of great feedback about all the people it's helped. Appreciate those of y'all that have bought it. Appreciate all the reviews that are going out. If you're new to following me or the industry, check out the book and get it in your hands now. Let's get into some of the sales stuff, dude. I have a note here. My team put you're big on using a script, and they capitalized big. So I'm guessing they found something out. What's your thoughts on scripts and how to use one? And even if you want to share what you do that works, that'd be dope.
Yeah, no, 100%. Scripts are massive, especially if you have no experience. Even if you do have experience, like you need to have a structured script that have sections throughout. But it's really important to go through a section, have the client agree with what you're doing, and then move on. And like if top people are saying certain things and they're just reading the script, like why would you drift off from it? So until you have the script down, you have it figured out, there's no reason to drift off from that. And the intro, it's real simple, right? Like, like, hey, John, have them respond to you. And then let them know like you're getting back to them about the request, confirm their date of birth, and then jump into the concern, set the structure.
Will you do it? Do it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, go for it.
Yeah. Okay. Like, hey, John.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, John, this is Tanner. I was just giving you a quick call here from the Benefits for Veterans office. How you doing today?
Doing great, bro.
Okay. Well, that's good to hear. Yeah, I was just calling you here in regards to the request that you sent in. For the new final expense and life options for veterans. I got your date of birth here listed as January 1st, 1950, correct?
That's right. Yep.
Okay, gotcha. And then it shows here on mine for your military status, you're honorably discharged. So I want to say, thank you for your service. Now, was your main concern, just like most veterans, just wanting to make sure the funeral expenses doesn't fall a burden on your loved ones?
I mean, I just want to kind of see options for it.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay, gotcha. And is it mainly for those funeral expenses, or were you looking to, leave something behind for your loved ones as well?
Kind of depends on pricing.
Yeah, of course, sir. It's all going to be based on your age as well as your health. So most veterans mainly focus on those funeral expenses, and then if it's within their budget, they're looking to leave something behind as well. Is that the same for you?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, perfect. So like, since you're kind of giving me a tiny bit of pushback, like I'm not moving on, right? Like I need to confirm what we're doing, because I see a lot of new people just kind of move on, especially through the why section. And it's like, hey, they told me that it's too expensive. Okay, well, did you even get their income?
Yeah.
Well, that's why.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's important to figure out why I'm going to talk to you in the first place before,
you're trying to
really
establish some kind of like ground rules right from the jump. Like, if we're not interested in this, what's the point of going forward?
Exactly. 100%.
I love
and that's why you have enough leads to where you can move on.
Yeah. You literally asked me the same question 3 times in a row for those that missed that.
Yeah.
So you just kept going back to it. Talked about like transition into the actual business. So again, I gave you a little, and again, some people are like, mine yell at me. Like, we're not going to get dramatic on the call. Like, let's just, skate. I want to teach you the script. And as you use scripts, and especially with that tonality, you deal with less stuff. Fair?
Yeah.
Like when you
100%.
maintain. And I know a lot of people have a hard time understanding that, but it's weird. Like, a lot of it goes away when you are cool, calm, collective, confident, and you just, you don't freak out when someone gives you a little bit of pushback. So how do you go from there? I'm sure maybe I give you a little pushback, maybe I don't, but sure, I'm interested in more. How do you get me in? I assume you're one call closing, yeah?
Yeah, 100%, always.
Yeah.
So I'll set the structure first. So I'll be like, all right, so what we'll do here, spend about a minute or so on yourself, your financial situation, make sure we can find something affordable to you and within your budget. Then we'll just spend about a minute or so on your health, and that's really just going to help me navigate which one of the carriers will give you that approval today. Okay, sir?
If y'all can't figure out how to copy that. But it's really simple. It's really simple and really direct.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like you're setting the stage that it's going to be quick, which I like.
Yeah.
Right? Some people drag this thing out and they don't explain that it can be easy. And then you essentially told them, I'm here to help you buy insurance. What's the main, if you get any pushback, is it there? And what do you normally get? And how do you deal with it there?
Yeah. So usually when I get there, it's less pushback because like you were giving me that pushback before. I'm not saying that unless I know that they're somewhat interested in the first place. But sometimes people will say, a lot of the times, right? Well, I'm not really available right now. I'm pretty busy. So what I would say I completely understand. This typically takes 5 to 10 minutes. We'll just take care of this now for you, so you don't have to worry about it in the future. And then I'm not going to end there because most people end there. You need to end with what we're doing next. So I'll say, and now, God forbid, if you were to pass away, who would be the beneficiary responsible paying for your funeral?
So you're not pausing at that point, waiting for them to respond, is what you're saying. You tell them what we're going to do, and then you ask a question.
Exactly. It's question-based selling what we're doing. But when they're hitting you with an objection, a concern, you're going to handle it, and then you're going to move on. Because if you just handle it, they're so focused on what the objection is. We got to move there. Of course, you always have to agree with the client, confirm, but we're going to move it to what we're doing and why we're on the phone.
Yeah, that dead space kills people.
It does.
You'd be like, yeah, no, this only takes like 5 or 10 minutes. And then you stop, or you go, is that okay?
That's the worst.
Stop doing that.
No control.
Yeah, I love it. All right, cool. All right, so go from there. How's it normally flow next? Or if you see any trouble spots you want to talk about, please do. Things you train your agents on. At any point you decide, I want you to dictate it versus me.
So we'll just jump into like the why section. So now, God forbid, if you were to pass away today, who would be the beneficiary responsible paying for the funeral expenses and picking up the pieces?
Sure, my wife Stephanie. She handles all that.
Your wife Stephanie. Okay, gotcha. And is your wife Stephanie, is she in a financial position to cover that funeral expense, or is that mainly why you were looking into this?
I mean, we have a few bucks, but I certainly want to make sure that she doesn't, have to worry about anything.
Okay.
I kind of handle the stuff.
Yeah. So like if you were to pass away today, like would she be able to come out of pocket for that, or is that mainly why you were looking to get something in place?
Yeah, I wouldn't want her to have to try to figure that out.
Yeah. No, I completely understand. And, that's why most veterans, they do send these requests, and they just don't want their loved ones to be burdened with those expenses, especially on one of the hardest days of their life. Now, as far as how much coverage we're going to be looking at for you here today, have you thought about whether you're to be buried or cremated?
Burial.
Okay. And do you know how much the burial typically does cost nowadays?
I have no idea.
Okay. Well, it's typically in the ranges of like $10,000 to $20,000. But it really just depends, of course, on, the celebration and the fanciness of the service. Now, do you have anything, put aside somewhere in a significant savings or any like life insurance that will help cover that cost? God forbid something did happen today.
We have a little bit in savings.
A little bit in savings. Okay. And what kind of had you, thinking about getting something in place? Did you just not think that you had enough set aside for that burial?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes we have to dip into it. Sometimes we travel,
Yeah. And that money is obviously to live on, it's not to die on. And of course, as you get older, you're going to need that money. So, you're really just looking for something guaranteed to cover that funeral so your wife doesn't have to come out of pocket, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Okay. So your main goal as of today, since you just have a little bit of money set aside, you want something guaranteed to pay out to your family. So on one of the hardest days of her life that she's really taken care of instead of left with the financial burden. Is that all right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I
Yes.
love, dude? And I hope people catch this shit. Like, I'm trying not to be like hard, but I'm being more vague. And so many people take that vague yes and they run with it. You know what I mean? And it's like,
Yeah.
dude, you lose people there.
Mhm.
I don't know how many times. I'd like to rewind now. I think you asked me 6 times if that's what I want. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't weird. It wasn't like forced. You would just kind of like clarify, making sure we're tracking, making sure we're on the same page, reiterating, wording it slightly, and using dope keywords like tragedy and guarantees. And, you know what I mean? It's like some of this stuff, y'all, I hope you grasp what he's doing here is like you're selling the benefits without selling the benefits. Like, you know what I mean? Softly.
Mhm.
It's really cool, as well as the need.
Yeah.
I love it, dude. I love
And
it.
like
Keep going.
that, like one thing to touch on, like that section, it's the most important. And yeah, I did repeat myself a few times, but I need like the client to really hear it come out of my mouth twice. I need them to fully understand what we're doing. And especially if someone has some money set aside, like, I'm going to make sure that I don't get hit with, at the end, like, well, I have money. Like, no, if you get hit with anything besides think about it or wife objection, you messed up somewhere.
Yeah.
Because those are the only 2 objections. You need to pre-close everything before that. And if you set it properly through that section, like, you will set up for like a very high close ratio.
Yeah. Where do you see people struggle the most, or what are you teaching people to implement the most? Besides, obviously, what you just explained it, but where do you see most newer agents that, because you're building a team already, which is dope, kind of lose things there, even though you're saying it? Where do you see people mess up that little spot most, and how can they recognize it more so?
Yeah. So most people, they lose people in that section when they have something, when they have life insurance or when they have savings, because when they don't have anything, like, it's pretty easy. It's more of an easier sale because they obviously need it. But when they do have something, if someone says like, yeah, I have a ton of money set aside, or yeah, I have money, people just say, okay. And then they'll say, okay, so your goal is to make sure that, your wife doesn't come out of pocket, but they don't actually handle the objection. So they skip over it. It's like if someone tells you that they have life insurance or that they have savings or they have some sort of money that's for the funeral or just in general, you need to handle it and make sure you like isolate that so they understand why they need this in the first place. So people honestly just get scared. Like they get scared to ask those hard questions. And, most of my guys mess up a few of their first times because they're just nervous. But once they understand, and I really dig on why it's super important to ask those hard questions, they understand completely on why they need to start implementing that.
Yeah. What if I said I got plenty of money, I got 50 grand in savings? Where are you going with it?
Yeah, so that 50,000, that's really just to leave a legacy left behind for your wife, make sure she's taken care of, and you were just looking for something just for that funeral guaranteed to pay out. You didn't want her like digging into that $50,000, correct?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, she has, like, if I died today, she'd use it.
Yeah, of course. Like if you were to die today, obviously you have a lot more life to live, and especially if like your car broke down, you need to repair some stuff in your house. You are going to need that money while you're alive, not when you pass away.
Sure.
Isn't that right?
Yeah.
I kind of throw things out there.
You find, yep. You're feeding them an answer, literally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
What about if I said I had insurance? Be like, yeah, I have something through work, and I think I have like a $10,000 I got, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years ago.
Okay. I gotcha. And I mean, if you don't mind me asking, what kind of had you, thinking that you needed more coverage, you just not think that you had enough?
Yeah, I wasn't really sure what it cost, but I got it so cheap. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to figure out, like, I don't know, can I get some more and not pay a ton? I don't really know.
Okay. Yeah, of course. And you are 5 years older, so really depending on your health, it could be a little bit more expensive. But since you only have 10,000, you're really looking to factor in inflation. Make sure that the burial is guaranteed to be taken care of. Since if you live another 10 years, your wife will be coming out of pocket $10,000. You didn't want that to happen, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
I love it, dude.
Perfect.
I love it. And smooth. So you've obviously, like, those watch, like, dude, he's made a lot of phone calls. That's clear.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's like, we have an answer for everything. And again, worst case scenario, it doesn't work out. My guess is you just move on. What if they're just like, nah, dude, I'm good. Nah, bro, I got 10 grand's enough, man. I don't even know why we're talking.
Yeah. Like, okay. So, I mean, were you looking for life insurance, sir? Like, I'll just kind of throw that out.
I have some.
Yeah. So if they don't need it, like, I'll only show numbers to people where I know that they're going to say yes to me. If they're not going to say yes to me, no, I'm not showing you numbers. I don't do quick quotes. I respect my time. So I'll just move on. I'll say, all right, you have a good day.
I love it. Yeah. I love it. I remember when I come from field sales. We'd go to their house. And when I was at that stage pushing, if they weren't convincing me that they needed something, dude, I used to have to train agents. Like, you'll just stand up and shake their hand and say, have a good day. And I'd fold my stuff up, put it in my bag, and walk out the door. And people are like, you just leave? I'm like, I mean, you want me to hang out begging him to buy? He said he didn't need it 22 times. Today's world, you can just be like, click. Okay, bye.
No, I know. And like a lot of new people, they'll, one of the favorite things that people like to ask when they're brand new is, what do you say when like they have like 100,000 and they got it when they were super young and they don't want any more? It's like, well, dude, they don't need this. That's not our typical buyer. So we're going to move on.
Fair.
And they get so stuck up on those situations. But it really comes down to, like, if you respect your time and you understand that someone doesn't really need your help, you have so many more leads to call. Just call the next guy.
Yeah. I feel like people get hung up on, we'll call them outliers on that side. Like, hey, I got plenty. I'm good. Leave me alone. But then also on the other side of that is like, yeah, dude, stop asking questions. Sign me up. You know what I mean? Like the laydowns too. And then some people mess up and they're like, this is how it should be on all of them. They're looking for the lead. That's every deal. And I'm like, those two ends, just pretend those don't exist. They kind of wash each other out. The middle's where you make your money. Kind of the vagueness, the procrastinator. I'm not sure. Like, they filled something out, but they're afraid of a sales pitch. Like, that's where this skill set stuff kills. So I love it, dude. All right, let's roll through. What goes next typically for you? If you're in the insurance space and trying to build an agency, or you're trying to like break records in sales, just hit new levels, new heights, click the link below to apply to my consulting and coaching program that I have out there. I'm helping tons of people get to new levels, get to new income heights, help them build their teams, put systems in place, staffing stuff, recruiting processes, automations, and just teaching people how to get to a point where they're selling on their own pen, 30, 40, 50 grand a month. And if they're building a team, teaching how to have an effective structure to your insurance agency for the most profitability you can. There is an application process. I'm only looking to work with like high-end people who really want to make big things happen. A couple recent clients that we've had in the coaching program. One dude as an individual went from selling like 8 grand a month, barely getting by, about to quit the industry, found the book, hit me up direct, started the coaching program, went to 35K his first month, has issued like 150K in the last 90 days, and has changed the trajectory of his career. Working with another agency builder, very first month went from doing like 800 grand a month to almost 1.1 million. We added like 10 or 15% production in 30 days. And continue to work on things there. So if you're interested, click the link, apply, and if you're a fit, I'll reach out.
Yeah, so now we're gonna dig into their finances. So it's like, all right, John, like, are you currently working, retired, or disabled?
Retired. I get disability income and
Okay. Well, I hope you're enjoying retirement, or at least trying to. What would you say that you do bring in per month? Just the ballpark.
like $3,000.
Okay. And then at the end of the month, like when you pay all your bills, utilities, any fun things you like to do, how much would you say that you are typically left over with?
I don't know. Maybe $500 or so.
About 500. Okay.
Sure.
Gotcha.
Depends how much we eat out or travel.
Okay. So maybe around like 400 to 500. That's like most veterans. Then since you're a veteran, this will be discounted for you. There's 2 discounts you may qualify for. The first one is, are you a smoker or, a non-smoker?
Non-smoker.
Okay, perfect. That'll be that first one. And then the second one is if you bank with a federal bank like Chase or Wells Fargo, or a military branch credit union like Navy Federal.
Just a local bank.
Okay, local bank. Is that out in Ohio?
Yep.
Okay, what was the name of it?
Marist Bank.
Marist Bank. Okay, gotcha. It looks like we are partnered with them. And then like the reason we asked that question is so we can pull up the routing number at the very end, so we have that like ready to go.
Yep.
So like it goes into, it helps banking out a ton when you like.
Sure.
Routing number should start with 1, 2, 3, 4, and then they go grab the checkbook and it's good. And then after that, I'm gonna like jump into the health questions. So, and then like just a little bit about your health here, sir. Do you come down to like the VA for your medical needs, or do you just go to a private civilian doctor?
Yeah, just a regular doctor.
Okay, gotcha. Any heart attacks, heart failures, strokes, TIA, stints in the last 5 years?
Nope. Nothing at all.
Any cancer in the last 5 years?
Nope.
Any diabetes?
Nope.
Any high blood pressure?
Sometimes.
Okay. You taking any like lisinopril, metoprolol, amlodipine?
Nope. I don't take anything for it.
Yeah. So then I just jumped through the health questions, right? Pretty simple. And then like, if you're like brand new, like that's when you're gonna kind of write down the packages. But obviously, I can kind of quick quote throughout that. And then after that, I'm gonna have them go grab a pen and a paper. Just go ahead and grab a pen and paper. I'm just gonna give you some benefits that come with this type of plan for veterans, and then just go through like the 7 benefits: immediate coverage, locked in cash value, living benefit, double accidental, and permanent coverage, just so they kind of know everything.
Yep.
And then after that, like, just pretend I have all the 3 quotes. I'm just like, all right, so now the system, they built 3 packages of coverage for you. You can decide on, which option makes the most sense for you. Just keep in mind, we can always go up and down as you please, since the goal here, it's to find the right amount of coverage for the best premium. Most importantly, make sure it's affordable to you. But at the end of the day, we still will have to get you approved. Does that make sense?
Yep. Got it.
Okay. And then I'll say write down bronze, silver, and gold. Write that down. And then I'll just go through my 3 options. Do you want me to go through them?
Sure. However you do it.
Okay. All right. So the bronze option for you, this is going to cover that basic funeral expense. As long as it's not on the fancy end. It's not going to leave any money aside for your wife, though. And that'll be for $10,000 of coverage, $20,000 of accidental coverage for $75 a month.
Okay.
And then the silver option, this is the one that most veterans, they do lean towards, as this will cover the full cost of your funeral. It's also going to factor in inflation, make sure that your wife will never have to be burdened with those expenses whatsoever. And that's going to be $15,000 of coverage, $30,000 of accidental coverage for $110 a month.
Okay.
And then the gold option will guarantee to cover the full cost of the funeral. It's going to factor in inflation and then leave about $5,000 left behind for your wife to make sure she's taken care of. And that'll be 20,000 of coverage, 40,000 of accidental coverage for 141 a month. Right. Now, given those three options, the gold, the silver, and the bronze, keep in mind the gold coverage covers the full cost, leaves some money behind. The silver is the one that most veterans, they do lean towards since it factors inflation. And then the bronze option just gives up that peace of mind, make sure everything's taken care of. Which one would make the most sense for you?
I love it. I'm going to go with silver.
The silver? Okay, perfect. So now what we'll do is, send in the request and then just lock them up, go through the application.
Yep. Easy. Any advice you give on where people get stuck from there? Typically, obviously, social and banking is where I hear the most complaints.
Yeah, most definitely. Especially when you're getting social, like you just have to speak confidently, like genuinely. Yep. I think social and banking, if you speak confidently, but you did provide enough value and trust throughout the 20 minutes that you were on the phone with them, they're going to give it to you. And I'll be honest, I don't get social objections, like very rarely.
I never did either.
It's very rare I'll ever get a social objection. I'll definitely get bank objections, but what I tell people is people get really, really nervous when like they get to bank, their tone changes or they're just speaking a little bit differently. I tell everyone, hey, you're going to get hit with bank objections. So when you get there, just expect them to tell you that they don't have a checkbook because they're going to tell you that. So just expect it. And then when you expect objections to come, you're over prepared for it. So it's light, like it's light work when you know what's coming. And then you just perfect. You go to statements, mobile banking, merge the banking, do what you need to do. But if you provide the trust, the value throughout the call, they're going to give you the information.
Yeah. Do you do anything to try to get it, or do you just ask first, and if they give pushback, then you use one of those things, or is there something you try to set up?
Yeah. So I mean, like for the social, I'll say
you already asked it earlier. If for those that missed it, you know what I mean? Like you laid that groundwork earlier, which I like. A lot of people avoid that. But when you get to this stage, what's the default?
Yeah. So like for the social, like I'll say like, all right, so like what city and what state were you born in?
Lynn, Mass.
Lynn, Mass. Okay. What state was that?
Massachusetts.
Oh, okay. Lynn, Mass. Gotcha. And you're obviously a U.S. citizen, right?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I was answering that one for you. And your social?
024. Yeah.
And then they're going to give it. They're either going to laugh or be like, what is he saying? And they're going to give it to you. Then for banking, like my intro to banking would just be like, all right, so the next part here for you, it's just the state's anti-money laundering verification. If the policy were to be approved, most veterans, they do like for it to go into effect immediately since it's day one coverage. Is that going to be the same for you?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So the first premium, it will draft within the next 24 to 48 hours. That's going to be fine?
Yep.
Okay, and then for the reoccurring, looks like you do qualify for the Social Security billing for it to be drafted in accordance to when you do receive your income, whether it's like the first of the month, the third, or the second, third, or fourth Wednesday. Which day is when you receive yours?
Yeah, third Wednesday.
Third Wednesday. Okay, perfect. So the first one will come out the next 24 to 48 hours, and then we will keep that reoccurring on that third Wednesday moving forward. And then is your name as it appears with your financial institution of, Chase Bank?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So it looks like since we're partnered with Chase Bank into our state system, 9 out of 10 times the routing number that automates is correct. Go ahead and grab a checkbook to confirm. Should start with 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, I don't have a physical checkbook.
Okay, that's not a problem. Do you get your statements mailed or do they get emailed to you? Emailed. Perfect. So just pull up your most recent statement. It's going to be in the top right corner for you.
Got it. Hang tight. Yeah, all good.
Yeah. So I don't say, can you go get a checkbook? Go ahead and grab a checkbook. And then people are like, okay, do you have a statement? No, you need to give them options. It's not a yes or no question. We're giving them options. It's like,
yeah.
and then you lock that up, and if you give them
Relatively easy.
options, speak with confidence, you
Yeah.
tell them what to do, and you're in charge. You're gonna be good.
Yeah. I think some people try to reason it so much they lose it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was always the same. I mean, social. I'm like, what's your social? I didn't prep like anything. I'm like social, just name, address, phone number, social. It's very normal. You know, and again for banking, no matter what. And I've had to get people's banking info in multiple businesses in different things I do. And I'm like, all right, dude, do you want this to come out of a checking or savings? They tell me. I'm like, all right, dope. What's the routing and account number? Or what's your credit card number? I just ask. I've never done anything like crazy. Again, I think if you're laying the groundwork and you're setting the right expectations, and you have control and you understand that we're in a purchase situation. Like I always thought when people do that, it's like when you go to the grocery store and I go to Publix and I check out, like they aren't weird about asking me to pay. They just ask. Like tap the thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, it's not insanely complicated when you know someone's there to purchase something and you do such a good enough job at the beginning, you know, they're ready to purchase. So it's like, why reason it? Why make it weird? Why, you know, and I find too many people have fear, and I've learned I think they miss where the sale's made. They think the sale's made then, you know, at the point of getting the social or getting the banking. I'm like, oh no. And I love it that you said you don't show pricing to people who don't tell you they basically want to buy. And, you know, I couldn't agree more, dude. I love it. Cool. Let's talk a little bit about the building side, dude. Fresh out of high school, building a team. What do you got going on team-wise so far? I know you said you brought on 6 people. I heard you mention that earlier, but where are you at now? What kind of volume y'all cranking out?
Yeah. So we're doing about 200,000 a month.
Already? Hell yeah. Okay.
Yeah, with about like
how many
12
guys?
or 13. Okay. 12 or 13. Like in December, we did 200,000 with 10. And then like the numbers for January aren't fully out yet. We'll see what we do.
20K a writer average.
Yeah. Yeah.
Powerful.
Where you getting guys? Yeah. So the guy first month last month, it was his first month. He IP'd 36. Crazy. But yeah, so I mean, everyone like I tell people like, hey, recruiting is real simple. People overcomplicate it. So people follow people with results. I was at another insurance company for 10 months. I had 1 recruit. I had no results. No one should even want to work with me when I was there. But now being here for 5 months, I have really, really good results. So everyone's coming to me. Like I wasn't even trying to get people initially. They all just started coming my way. But it is because I'm posting on social media. You know, my mentors told me to start putting things out there, start posting sales, post our calls, post videos. I got really nervous to put the phone up, start talking into it. But the last 2 months I've been doing that, and things have scaled a lot quicker from that. But
what's your Instagram?
My Instagram, it's Tanner, TANNER .Mendelsohn, MENDELSOHN. Yeah, so I'm
gonna follow you back.
Let's go. Yes, hey, let's go. Yeah,
you got a Rolex in there. I see that one.
Yeah, we're working on it.
I love it, dude.
But
I love it.
Yeah, it's really just putting yourself out there. But like you need to have results, and people like should want to follow you if you're building and scaling a team. So like a lot of people from my old company, like they all came my way. Like basically my old uplines team, like they all work with me now and they're all absolutely killing it. Every single one of them. And then I was able to get some of my boys on, which is nice. And then, I mean, now we're just kind of exploding. We're going to scale to 2 million a month this year. And like, it's because I have a system that really works, and we're just going to the moon. Like I'm not slowing down.
Yeah. What are you using to manage everything? Like the system, quote unquote. You know what I mean? How you managing all the chaos?
Yeah. So like, it's just starting to get chaotic. But I just have like a sheet that manages all my recruits, and Ronnie just helps me keep like a pipeline going to where I can really have it managed and like what stage they are, if they're in training, if they're, taking their tests, if they're in their course, if they're in their first couple weeks. So I just have it laid out, but it's starting to get chaotic. So we're going to need to start developing something like that follows up with it more. But I'm getting all my guys from like Instagram, so I just keep tabs on everyone.
I love it, dude. Well, let me know. That's what we do. It's build systems, bro. That's it's needed to get it real big. Dude, what's mom think now?
Dude, it's crazy. She's honestly just genuinely like super proud of me, and it's awesome. And like it feels good for, like in the position that I'm in, to just be able to like give back to her and everything. And she's thinking about moving to Texas. She wants to be by me, which would be awesome. But like at first she was like, all right, let's see if you can do it another month. Let's see if we can do it another month. And then, kind of like self-doubt or like just in disbelief, right?
Sure.
But now like I'm like, hey mom, like I'm gonna retire you. Like you're gonna be retired this year. I'm gonna need help with a lot of other things that don't pertain to my business. So if you could help me out with that, like we can get you retired in 1 year. Like let's not wait another year. So I just moved to Texas. She helped me with my insurance, like all of the stuff that don't pertain to the business. Super helpful, like insane. Like I love her. She's the best mom ever. I love it.
What's the coolest thing you've been able to do so far financially because of where you're at? Anything come to mind?
Yeah. So, I mean, like, I'll be honest, I'm not a spender. So like I've been able to just save a significant amount of money in my bank account. But at the same time, like prices are not a thing anymore. So like dinners, like I take all the boys out to dinners, the team, like we were just at convention. Like I paid for the Airbnb, I paid for dinners, like I took care of everyone. And then like I'm going to Aspen next week. We're going to film a bunch of media. I'm going to Miami in 3 weeks. I'm going to Miami in 2 months as well. So like really just, and not Miami to go have fun and everything. Like it's all business, right?
Yeah.
But
sure you'll eat well while you're there.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. So really just being able to like actually travel to places specifically for business and then be able to like eat out. Like when I went back home, I bought my mom, she really loves Viore, got her some clothes, took care of her.
I love it.
So yeah, just price tags just aren't a thing anymore and it feels real cool.
That's badass. I love it, dude.
Yeah.
Good for you, man. I have a feeling your mom's probably my age, for crying out loud. So I'm 47.
Yeah. A little bit older.
Yeah. Not much. Dig it, bro. Anything you want to end with? Anything you want to add I didn't cover? Or anything a message you want to pass to others? Feel free, dude.
Yeah, 100%. So I mean, if anyone's in a place right now where they're having doubt about the insurance space, like trust me, like the life insurance industry is the best vehicle in the entire world. You just have to be in the right system around the right people with the leads figured out, the leadership and the culture. And really all you need to do is find that group and apply every single thing that they tell you. Stay level-headed and like your life will change. It won't change overnight. It'll change over time by repetitive actions every single day. And like if anyone needs help or like wants to reach out, ask questions, like just send me a DM on Instagram, like just my name, Tanner Mendelsohn. And like I'll hop on any calls. And like I just want to my business changed when I started putting other people first. Like I came into the industry selfish. I want to make as much money as possible. But like my business truly changed when I just started to put other people first and just help people. So like if anyone needs help, like I'm genuinely there for you guys, and stick through it and stay consistent and you're going to make it.
I love it, bro. Well, I appreciate it, dude. If along the way you know anybody else that would be dope to talk to, feel free to send them my way. And
100% will.
We'll be sure to put this out and promote you as well, what you got going on. And if you need any help from me, dude, don't be shy. Feel free to reach out and ask.
I appreciate you. I always will.
All right, my dude. Appreciate your time. Thanks for getting on. We'll see y'all at the next one. Hey, thanks for watching the latest episode. I appreciate you. If you will do me a favor, certainly like this video channel, subscribe to it. And if you wouldn't mind, whatever podcast network you listen to these on, if you wouldn't mind going and leaving a review, that will help me greatly get the word out to more and more people. Appreciate you.